Good afternoon everybody and welcome to the stream. I'm Robert from the El Magnifico Games channel, and today we're going to continue a playthrough of the Talos Principle 2. Well, I would jump straight into catching up on the story so far, but ArtDad has just read me some facts, so perhaps I should get that out the way. So I will grab the encyclopedia, read some facts, and then I will get into the recap of what's been happening in the game so far. Wherever I've put the encyclopedia, it's somewhere around here. Or no, actually, if ArtDad doesn't mind, I might do the recap first, and then I'll do the encyclopedia reading second. Because that'll probably be better for when I'm putting the timestamps on the video on YouTube, although I could do it either way around. It would be more consistent with what I have done in the past. So, this is the Talos Principle. Talos Principle 2, I should say. We are an android. Humanity, or humans as we know them, are dead. Biological humans. A disease was released from some permafrost due to global warming, wiped them out. Before they went, they managed to build some android bodies, and they didn't yet have the ability to create a human-level intelligence to inhabit those bodies, so they built a supercomputer that was using a genetic evolutionary algorithm to develop, to generation by generation, create more and more intelligent AIs. Once one of those AIs was intelligent enough to be comparable to a human being, which they determined by a series of tests in a simulation of the real world, then that individual was uploaded to one of the waiting android bodies. That happened, it took a few hundred years, and that individual called themselves Athena. Athena then found 12 other viable bodies, android bodies I should say, and she then combined individuals from the last generation of AIs, because she could do that, because it was a genetic algorithm, to create new individuals. And she created 12 new individuals who became known as the Companions, and she the founder. They founded a city called New Jerusalem. And they then built up infrastructure so that they could get raw resources and refine them so that they were in a position to both repair themselves and build new individuals, which is what they did. She set the good what you likes to, sir. Okie doke. Lovely to see you, ArtDad. I hope you're having a nice day. Where was I? Androids, they built the infrastructure they needed to repair themselves and build new individuals. Did I say they founded New Jerusalem? I think I did, but if I didn't, they did. Things were going well until they tried to found a second city called New Alexandria. There was a mistake that led to several people dying, and then as a result of that, a large chunk of the population went ultra-conservative. They took examples of human beings wiping themselves out with global warming. They argued that they needed to minimise their environmental impact as much as possible and generally be as timid as they could be and not take any risks they didn't have to. That's when we were created. We are Android 1000, as you can see from our chest. Because we have the number 1000 engraved in it. And New Jerusalem was in a pretty poor state because it wasn't being properly maintained. They weren't able to keep everything in a good state of repair because for far too long they hadn't been doing the things that they should have been doing. Now the founder, Athena, she had originally set a goal of reaching 1,000 individuals that got reinterpreted as a limit, never go over 1,000. She ended up leaving New Jerusalem, although she didn't tell anyone why. It was because she did not like the ultra-conservative approach they were taking. Her boyfriend Cornelius also left, telling everyone he was going on a research expedition. He actually met up with her, and they built themselves a daughter called Miranda. They also massively innovated. They built technology well beyond anything they had in New Jerusalem. Then there was an accident. Miranda died. Cornelius and Athena were struggling with the pain of it all, and they ended up not... I think the implication is they still love each other, but they took some time apart. Cornelius came back to New Jerusalem, and he then became a bit of a recluse, and he didn't tell anybody about what had happened. On our completion day, the day when we were born, there was a big celebration because they'd reached 1,000 individuals, the so-called limit. And then some holograms appeared in the sky and approached us and told us to go to this island. Specifically a hologram called, calling himself Prometheus. We came here, and to skip a load of the story, so major spoilers, it turns out that Athena fell asleep in some sort of machine that was connecting her subconscious to some of the reality warping technology they'd created, and so now her subconscious is changing the world around us, and we need to go rescue her. Cornelius, we tried to confront him after we found out that he'd been on this island, because initially we did not know that at all. We had no idea that Miranda even existed or anything that had happened here. So we went to confront him, but it turns out he had come back to the island, and he was reverse engineering something Athena had built for some reason. We weren't sure what or why. Turns out that when we came here and started seeing some of the memories that were available, like, because we are androids, our memories can be downloaded and transferred. There were memories of Athena's that were lying all over the place that we were able to extract the data from and view, but there were also memories of Miranda. And so now Cornelius is under the impression that it may be possible to get Miranda back, that somehow in the systems they built there may be enough of her left that they can bring her back from the dead. How realistic that is, I can't really say. Anyway, that's the story so far. We haven't met, although we've spoken to Cornelius, he's always done it over radio. We don't actually know physically where he is right now. I suppose technically we don't know where Athena is either. We know she's inside the megastructure, which isn't this, but we'll get to the megastructure later. But we don't actually know, like, we can't pinpoint her exactly. So that's also a problem we're going to have to worry about. Right, so that's the recap. Let's go with some facts, shall we, from the encyclopedia. So last time, what were we looking at? We were looking at what is the sun, and we were talking about all different types of stars and the life cycle of stars and so on. This time we have this is quite a small page, actually. I mean, it's a double page spread, but it's mostly just a massive picture of what I assume is a nebula. So I assume this is meant to be more a sort of dividing page in the encyclopedia between two sections or something. Could be wrong. But it does say it gives a scale for the size of the things that we're looking at, which I'm a little dubious about, and I'll tell you why in a moment. But it claims that this distance, which they've drawn on the page, is equal to 1 light year, and 1 light year equals about 9 trillion kilometers. They say 9 trillion. I don't know, but I would assume that that's short scale. So that would be 9 million million. I say that because there is also long scale, which is the system that was traditionally used in Britain, but has been displaced by the short scale system used mostly in America over the last few decades. It would make a big difference because it's the difference between 9 million 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 and 9 million million. I'm assuming it's the latter. So it tells us that this is a picture of a nebula. Unfortunately, I can't show you. Or a star nursery. This picture was taken by the James Webb Space Telescope. Oh, this must have been taken reasonably recently then. Because the James Webb Space Telescope has only been up there like, what is it, a couple of years or something? I don't think it's been that long. It shows the edge of the nebula, which looks like the peaks and valleys of a mountainous brown landscape. It's been eaten away by the radiation created by massive young stars. The scale of the nebula is mind-boggling. The tallest peaks in this image are about 7 light years high. A light year is about the distance light travels in a year. Yes, that's how light year ends up being a distance. It's because the speed of light is notionally constant. It's not actually completely constant. It does actually make a bit of a difference what the light is travelling through, but it's pretty close to being constant. And so if we times the speed of light by a period of time, then we get a distance, because speed times time gives you distance. 16 miles per hour times 1 hour gets you 60 miles. So a light year is the distance that light in a vacuum, I believe, I think light can also be affected by gravity, so I suppose this would be in a gravityless vacuum, is the distance the light would travel in 1 year. Which is a lot. It will travel a long way in a year. The reason I was dubious about this scale they presented in this image, where they said, oh, this distance is 1 light year. They're showing this nebula, and inside the picture, or rather as part of the picture of the nebula, you can see all sorts of stars in the foreground and in the background and so on. Right, well, they're going to be all different distances from the viewer. Some of them are going to be a very, very, very long way away, and some of them are only going to be quite far away. My point is that the actual area you can see because of depth is going to make up a frustum. We're going to be able to see, if you imagine the edges of the image, the further back something is, or rather, if you were to try to draw what someone could see, it would be like a rectangle which extends out into space, but it wouldn't be a prism, because it would get larger and larger the further the way you go, because that's how depth perception works. That's that's how we see. And so my point is, when they say this distance on the page is 1 light year, that can't be constant. If it's 1 light year for an object that's really close to the viewer, it's going to be a lot more than a light year. The same distance on the page is going to be a lot more than a light year for something that's far away. I don't know if I've explained that very well, but yeah, I disagree with the way they've presented that. I don't think that makes sense. Anywho, so that's the encyclopedia page. I hope that was interesting, Art Dad. And we'd better get into the game, I guess. So, I'm going to just head towards one of the shrines. There should be 2 shrines in this area. Oh, I was going to very quickly talk about this stream, wasn't I? So we've only got 2 shrines and 1 Golden Gate puzzle left to do. My concern is that well, it's not quite a concern. My prediction is that means we're probably going to finish the game, the main story of this game today. I can't be absolutely sure, but I strongly suspect that we'll finish all the puzzles in this area fairly quickly. I mean, if I'm unlucky, maybe it'll take an hour or 2, but fairly quickly, and then we'll probably have enough time left over to finish the finale of the game as well. There is other stuff in the main menu that we can access. I don't know. I don't know what that other content actually is like. As in, I don't know if it's going to be very story heavy like this has been, or if it's just going to be a series of puzzles. And I don't know how long it will be, but there is other stuff there which I'm sure we'll look at some point. Anyway, let's carry on. So right now I'm looking for a sprite, which is just like a little ball of energy. I'm using the energy, the energy that was coming off of that shrine at the top to tell me the rough direction that it's in. Weirdly, this seems to have pointed us directly at the other shrine, which is very unusual. That doesn't normally happen. I'm a little worried I may have been past where the sprite actually would be, but it's hard to be sure. Popping in for a quick moment. Lovely to see you, Pikachu. You missed us talking about nebulae when Art Dad redeemed his facts. I hope you're well right now. I'm currently running around looking for a Sprite. Not the drink. Do you have Sprite in the US? The drink, I mean. Have I found this before? Yes. Huh. I remember seeing this. I'll have to try and remember that as I'm walking around. Alright, let's go back to... Whoop! Let's go back to... to the other shrine, and I'll have another go at finding the sprite, since I clearly missed it on this occasion. Yes, we have Sprite. It's a Coke product. Isn't Coca-Cola American? I haven't checked. I'm pretty sure it is. But I mean, it's everywhere now, isn't it? We certainly have Coke in this country, as in the drink. I mean, we probably have both, but that's not what I was getting at. And Pepsi, though of course that was always a competitor product. I remember hearing that apparently, I haven't verified this to make sure this is true, this is just a story I remember being told once. Apparently Coke and Pepsi Coke used to, back in the days in America where you had a lot of segregation, apparently Coke was marketed towards white people and Pepsi towards black people, and that's why there were these two products which on the surface seemed so similar. It was because it was essentially supposed to be an equivalent product, but for the two different demographics. You'd never heard of that before. Interesting. I wonder if it's true. I mean, it's one of those things I never got round to looking up, but didn't know that either. Hold on. Let me make sure I've not made this up. I definitely remember being told this. Okay, a very brief look suggests that some people are claiming this on the internet. That does not necessarily mean it's true, but at least it makes me feel a little more confident that I haven't completely made it up myself. At the very least, if it isn't true, then I was, then I didn't originate it. Okay, I haven't done a thorough study of this. It looks like that's not how they started, but that's like by the 1950s, that's what had happened. I suppose, again, I haven't thoroughly researched this. It looks more like they were two very similar products that were competing with each other, and then they ended up just both by trying to maximize their own sales, they ended up marketing to one group or the other, because, you know, this would come down to like the sort of actors they would hire to play parts in commercials, that sort of thing. They ended up gaining that identity later, it looks like. Interesting. Well, I'd love to research that, but I should probably get on with the game. But at the very least, it looks like, having had a cursory look, it looks like it's not completely made up. There's at least something in it. How are you doing? Mystery solved. Tired, sore, still feeling terrible, but working again. I'm sorry to hear that. Sorry you're not completely recovered. Hope you feel 100% again soon. Do you know of June 10th? I am not familiar with that. For those that can't see Twitch chat, that's one word, June 10th. Oh, Juneteenth. Not 10th. My apologies. But no, I'm not familiar. What's Juneteenth? Yeah, and I mean, that's concerning, Art Dad. I mean, I hope you're doing all right overall. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure what's led you to feeling so poorly, but I am sorry to hear it. It's a recently established holiday here in the US. Interesting. How do you establish a holiday in the US? Get legislators to support it? Unfortunately, I seem to have followed pretty much the same path as last time, and I still haven't found that sprite. Juneteenth, also known as Emancipation Day, occurs annually on June 19th. It is the oldest national celebrated commemoration of ending slavery in the United States. I see. I wonder when it did start and where it started. Oh, is that the sprite? That's the sprite. Found it. Okay. I still need to get to it, but at least I know where it is now. Because I mean, I know that things weren't exactly hunky-dory just after the Civil War. I think it's fair to say that if it started very early, it did not start in the South. Yeah, but it was celebrated before, but it wasn't a federal holiday until recently. Interesting. So June 19th is the day 3 years after the Civil War ended. A general came to the South and realised slaves weren't free and forced the South to free them and give them rights. It's a very big thing in the South. Oh yeah, I know about I know a bit about that, because my understanding is Civil War, North won, pre-Civil War, laws are passed to say that slavery is outlawed. The South says, well, that doesn't apply to us because there's nothing in the Constitution that says that laws that are passed, federal laws that are passed, have to be adopted by every state. They were technically right. Like, whether or not you agree with how they were trying to use that loophole, if you consider it a loophole, more an oversight, they were technically right from a legal perspective. But the North said, no, that's not how it works. You're going to implement this. And I said, okay, well, then we leave. There's nothing that says that we can't leave. Again, you may not agree with the hill they chose to die on, but from a legal perspective, they had a point. There was nothing to say that they couldn't leave. North says, no, you're not doing that. Ultimately, that led to armed conflict, the Civil War. The North wins, and then they make it very, very clear to the South, right, slavery is going to end. So what do? They come up with this whole scheme of mandatory apprenticeships, and all these black people. No, they're not slaves. They're apprentices. Oh, they may not have any choice in the matter, but they're not slaves. And so then the North had to send the army down again and occupy the South. For some period that I don't know how long it was, just to try and make sure that slavery was actually stamped out. Do people throw big parties in Texas, Aunt Dad? Not much happens around here where I am, so I don't know much about it, to be honest. Yes, or at least where I grew up we did. I see. We get extra credit at school for doing the parades and stuff. That seems slightly dubious, since on the face of it that's got nothing to do with academic achievement. That's got to do with publicly being seen as having the right views. How far off was my understanding of what happened from your two's understanding? Because of course, I'm the one that isn't an American. Is that broadly speaking what you understood as well? closed? That's it in a nutshell. Oh, how am I going to get up there? Oh, I'm glad my memory was broadly right on that topic. I live next to a Veterans Memorial Hall, so the kids around here get extra credit for going to those types of events. Yeah. That does strike me as a bit dubious. I suppose it depends what extra credit actually is. What it's there to try and achieve, but it does strike me as there is a danger there that it's conflating educational achievement with trying to coerce people into at least saying or publicly presenting as having the sort of views that they want them to. Now you may say, yeah, but on subjects like this it's very clear cut. But the thing is, well, even if you do agree, where do you draw the line? And who gets to decide what is clearly the correct view to hold? I grew up in an all-black area and school, so yeah. Ah, I see. Interesting. Hang on. I don't... How? I'm sorry, did you say you went to an all-black school? Well, I guess that's none of my business, but here's the star. There was like 20 white kids out of 2,000. Oh, I see.
Those poor souls who dwell in night. But does a human form display to those who dwell in realms of day?
So all black doesn't actually mean all black. It just means very, very what's the word? The ratio is very much one-sided. Well, yeah, mostly. How does that work? Because presumably they can't legally say that. Presumably they can't legally discriminate and say we won't accept this student because they're XYZ race. And that would explain why you had 20 white kids, as you put it. Is that just like by choice? Do people just like naturally? If I'm touching on a subject that you're uncomfortable with, do let me know. But I'm just curious. Is that something that people just tend to do by choice? How does that happen? Majority. It was a ghetto area. Lower income, very low income. Right. So it's more to do with the income disparity then. So there wouldn't have presumably been many in that area where you were. There presumably weren't that many white families that were that poor, and so because it was a school that was there for that catered mostly to poor families, you ended up with a strong bias in terms of demographics. I used to play in their band. Hang on. When I got to boot camp, there was Northerners who had no idea what Juneteenth is. Oh, I see. I used to play in their band as well, so I know Stars and Stripes Forever and the military anthems like the back of my hand. Which band was that? I know you were saying about... What was it? You said you lived near a memorial hall. I probably should have asked what a memorial hall is, actually. That would have been a good question. Dad, are you working today or streaming today? Hang on, where is the next shrine? Although I don't actually need to know, do I? I just need to find... because I've already seen the picture there. It's over here. I might look at it again. I could just use the copy and the notes that the game makes, but I'll go up there because what we're looking for may be close by. The band in the Veterans Hall. Oh, Veterans Hall, not Memorial Hall. Or are those synonyms? Oh, that's the one we just came from. Over this way, I think, if I recall correctly. You don't have to be a veteran to play, but we played for all the events. I worked tonight, ma'am. There was still racism growing up, and I saw both sides of it, and watched the soap move to avoid certain groups. I see. That is very unfortunate. Who was it? There was... There was a mathematician that discovered something interesting related to that. Oh, it's an economist. I was thinking of Schelling's model of segregation, if you're interested. Essentially, this was an economist that proved that even if people only have very mild in-group preferences, then you still end up with really extreme segregation. It's surprising. Well, I say they showed it. I mean, it was a mathematical model that was obviously trying to simulate human behaviour, which is always going to be imperfect, but it was still... I remember coming across that, and it was very interesting to note that from a mathematical perspective, people would need to have only very, very mild preferences, and you would still end up with really quite striking segregation. What this comes down... what the model essentially says is like, oh, if you have so many neighbours and you want a particular ratio, or you don't want the number of people of your own in-group to fall below a certain threshold, otherwise you'll move, then it's surprising that that people would only need to have a very small preference for their own in-group for, as I say, you to end up with really quite strikingly separated neighbourhoods. It's counterintuitive. Finally, my coffee maker is working properly. Nothing worse than just having coffee flavoured hot water. I'm glad you got that sorted. I hope it wasn't too much of a nuisance. I'm doing a charity stream Saturday for Memorial Day and families of those who lost someone. That's very, very good of you. Hopefully I'll be able to see some of it. You had to work on Monday, Art Dad? Called in Sunday and Monday. I'll pop in, Art Dad, though I don't have any money. I can't even buy bits right now. I'll support with my eyeballs. Do you already have a link set up for donating? Sorry, as far as the game is concerned, this is what I'm looking for. So there's a staircase there and a staircase there, and there's 3 of these things in the middle, and there's that behind it. Okay? And obviously whatever I'm supposed to activate should be there. Oh, it's probably over there, down there. No straightforward way to tell which one it is. Oh, the hands. The hands behind it. Is there a bunch of hand monuments nearby? Unclear. I mean, there's big hands here. I'm not sure if that's the same monument they're depicting, though. Looks like there's too few of them. Oh, well, let's go down here and see what we can find. Right, it's not that one. It's not that one. It's unlikely to be that one. I'm working with the gent to get it all set up. Okie doke. When you do, would it be possible for you to send me the link? Most vets play Souls, so we may make a run. I didn't know that. That's interesting. Right, I don't think I'm looking for this spot. I guess the thing I should do is... I'm probably looking for an area that's a bit like this. But near some sort of hand monument, it would appear. Not like just one hand like that or two. It looked like there was like a whole series of hands reaching up out of the ground. I'll post it in Discord, and in PS Discord if she's okay with it. Maybe Trom will pop in. I'm not familiar with Trom. Of course, Art Dad. Yeah, go ahead. Just label it clearly so people don't get confused. Have you done charity streams before, out of curiosity? And add it to the going live section if you're able. I was wanting to ask him to see if he wanted to join in. Or to join it. When you go live. He's in my Discord if you want to track him down. No, I haven't. I see I was actually approached to do... Hold on, let me make sure I get the name right. I was actually approached to do Gamers Outreach VTuber Summer Slam this year, and they seem to be an organisation which tries to get video games to children in hospitals. And that's in June, I think? Late June. I mention it because this is my first time as well. I've never done anything like this before. I'm not sure how much I'm supposed to say. I don't know very much, but I mean, I've looked them up to make sure that they are actually a genuine organisation. I've done my best to do my due diligence, but I don't actually know. I don't know much about the event, but I don't know how much of it is supposed to be public information and how much isn't. I know he's got himself a new job. It'll be my first one. Oh, I do that now. It's how I helped Queen and others who are in my stream. Oh, I may have missed the context. Do what? Sorry. What was I thinking? I'm not sure if you're in my Discord, Art Dad, but you are very welcome to post about your fundraising there as well. Use games to help patients. Oh, right, yes. I say my Discord, what I really mean is the Discord server I manage. I have to remember that obviously it's the community that makes a server. And I'm just the custodian. In case you're wondering what I'm doing, I'm wandering around looking for this hand monument that I saw in that picture, because I assume it exists somewhere around here. I just don't know where. But once I locate it, I should be able to find what I presume is going to be a switch, which I need to complete that shrine puzzle. Nothing yet. So just to recap, if we go back to the picture I found. Oh, you can't zoom in, but that's what I'm looking for, and there's hands in the background. Arms, I should say. Forearms. If there's anything else I could... Well, if there's anything I could do to help with the fundraising, do let me know. You know, like if I could usefully help out in any way, I mean. Ah, is that it? That's probably it. Probably. Wonder how many times I've walked past that and not seen it. Ah, it's probably down here then. In all probability. So it's probably around here. Yeah, this is bound to be it, isn't it? This is almost exactly what we saw in that engraving. Okay, you can't see it too well because I can't zoom in so far as I'm aware, but there you go. Oh, I just realised my going live message is wrong. I said this was North 3 when it's West 3. Oops. Ha! Done. Interesting little area back here that I didn't know about. I think we all should do one. I know. B gives his Twitch money to charity, and I know we all have things we want to help make better, sorry. I gotta run, but I'll leave a lurk until later. Okie doke, Pikachu. B is such a great guy. Who's V? See you soon, Pikachu. I'll see you later. Sorry, I need to go back to the shrine, don't I? Here. Yeah, I specifically say on my website that I'm interested in getting involved in charity events, specifically because I want to help out in whatever way I can, but it's with these Gamers Outreach people, they're the first people that have actually approached me. And here's the star.
A hammer forges, and a hammer breaks. But who can know the heart of the blacksmith?
Interesting. I'm slightly surprised we didn't get an achievement for getting all the stars. Because obviously they were a lot of work to acquire, and they do make a complete set. Still. Never mind, on to the Golden Gate puzzle. Which is down here. From within. Interesting. Ah, that's where we're going. Right, so I need to go around there, presumably. Fans that are going to get in the way. This looks an awful lot like... Hang on, have I not done this one? This isn't the Golden Gate puzzle, is it? No, it's not. Where's the Golden Gate puzzle? I was going to say, I recognise that. Oh, it's up here. Well, that's a little embarrassing. Never mind. Is this it? What was it called? Windstream. Okay. Another fan. I have never seen that before. I guess that's just telling us that a portcullis exists here, because otherwise we wouldn't necessarily know. Right, so if I need a blue there and red there? Yes. To get through there. But turning the blue on will also turn the fan on. But it will also lower that force field that will allow me to get to the red. And I have 2 connectors. What an interesting puzzle. And now it's impossible to get through there. This is one of those puzzles where it's very, very simple in the sense that there's very few parts. I can see it all immediately, and yet it's not easy. The solution is eluding me right now. There's a few problems here. One of the problems is how do I get the red through here if the blue's going to be in the way. And I don't see how the blue couldn't be in the way. I don't have any boxes or anything that I could use to change the elevation. Interesting that they call it Windstream. I can't see how in three dimensions I could complete this in a way which wouldn't lead to those beams crossing. Ah, can I put a connector on here? No. Appears to be the answer. Yes. Right. That's significant because that would allow me to get a height difference. The problem is that from this side it's not clear how I could connect anything up. I only have 2 connectors and I have to connect up the blue and the red, so unless this one can connect up the blue or the red all on its own, which it can, then that's not going to work. But I'm also not oblivious to the fact that I'm going to have to be on this side when I complete the circuit anyway. Because I can't be on the other side of this fan, or by definition I won't be able to walk down this corridor. Giving it a name like Windstream does make me wonder whether I'm supposed to be using this somehow in the solution. Ah! Hang on. Yes! I can go around the outside like this. Ah, that's a big deal. We've nearly got it. The only remaining question is how do I make sure that the I don't have enough time to run down there. How do I change whether the blue is connected from the other side? Maybe by causing it to cross, the beams to cross, like so. That doesn't make sense, because I'd need this to turn on. I'd need the fan to turn on in order for the connector to get into position where it can transmit the red. But the whole point is that I'm trying to delay the amount of time it takes for the blue to connect up in the first place. But it's connecting up the blue that causes the fan to work. So there's a contradiction there. I can't both have the blue not be connected up in order that the fan's off and I can walk down there, and have the blue connected up so that the fan's on and the red gets pushed into position. That doesn't make sense. Close, very close. very, very close. That's why they have that portcullis there. It's so that I can't just... If I'm running down this side, I won't be able to get past the fan. I have to jump, which just adds a little bit more time. Oh dear. No. I think that's the solution. Will that stop the blue from connecting up? No. I've just noticed I can see both the red producer and receiver from this side, so I could connect it up over there if needs be. But I'd need to find a way for this idea to work. I'd need to find a way to disrupt that connector from connecting up the blue from this side using this connector. And then the final part would be connecting those up and then sticking that over here. And then in theory the fan would blow it down and it would end up in a position where the red connects up as well. Oh wait, I could just stick that there. Then it won't be able to connect up the blue. That's actually a very simple and elegant way to do it. I think we've got this solved. And so in this case, the portcullis may also be helping prevent the fan from grabbing me, I'm not sure. Okay. I think I've been unlucky. Sort of. It's actually my placement that was at fault, although I didn't realise it at first. This needs to be closer. Oops. Connect that up, connect that up. Stick that over here. Done!
You did it. It's opening. Come meet me. I'll send you the coordinates in case you don't already have them. I have one last task for you.
Interesting. Also, we just got an achievement for solving all puzzles and monuments. Where am I actually going? Is this on social media? In memory still bright. Sib away. I would like to thank 1K for covering all of Trevor's recordings. It's clear that they meant a lot to Athena, and they should mean a lot to us too. He's as much our progenitor as Alexander Drennan was, and we should not forget him. Hypatia. It's all a love story in the end, all of human history. Even when people die, or never even have the chance to get to know each other, love is the only thing that survives the abyss of time. Without the love Trevor felt for Alexandra, without the love Alexandra felt for us, none of us would be here, and nothing would matter. Thank you, 1K. That was by Bistroff. Dosicles. As tragic as this story is, it gives me hope, and who knows, perhaps she loved him too, or could have. I'm confused. Did Trevor's journals talk about having a love for Alexandra? I don't recall that. Mitku. So Lithras here and his students helped Athena and Cornelius execute their plan. Another fascinating discovery, courtesy of 1K. Many of the events in our city's history that seem disconnected turn out to be part of a bigger pattern. There's something to be learned from that. Nyamph. This does not answer some questions I had, like how Athena and Cornelius transported all that equipment from New Alexandria to the island. Elwyn. Disturbing, but good to know. Budahas. Lithras here was so cool. Half the time I have no idea what he's talking about in his recordings, but it's all just so interesting and weird. Guta. Good work, 1K. My choices are thank you, or should we maybe send an expedition to go looking for Lithras and his disciples? I actually agree with that. Not with a view to necessarily helping them, because I don't think they'd appreciate that, but at least checking to see if they're still alive. And who knows, they may actually be in need of help. One interesting idea, we should definitely think about it. This is Byron. It seems that for Lithras this attempt had a sort of philosophical or spiritual purpose, and we wouldn't want to disrupt that, but discreetly checking to see if they're okay should be alright. Yes, that's what I was thinking. City news. Axio Thea. In addition to the previously announced new scouting and scavenging expeditions, and the reactivation of the abandoned mining and factory projects, Mayor Byron has asked citizens to submit ideas for other possible undertakings, which are to be discussed at the next public assembly after Mayor Byron returns from the megastructure. Places of longing, New Jerusalem. It's like some sort of party. Athelvok. I yearn for a city that does not yet exist. It is a wealthy city, abundant, prosperous, full of life and energy, but its prosperity is not like that of the cities of old, a thin gilded layer over a cesspool of misery. No, its riches are deep. They permeate its every street. They fill it with depth and texture. It's a city of delights, of secrets, of surprises, always growing, always changing. It's every citizen partaking of its joys as well as its tragedies. I do not think that this is the last city, the one where our journey will end. I think it is the first. The Tower, new poem. Emesh. There is a tower waiting for me. I see it on the horizon, and every day it grows closer. It has been a companion on my journey, but I fear the day I will reach it. For I have loved this road, and the fields and the hills it has shown me, but the tower waits. I can only hope that from its height I will see other roads and other towers, and dream of journeys yet to come. This poem makes me feel happy. This poem makes me feel strangely sad. I find this poem moving, but I don't know why. I don't really get poetry. This poem makes me feel strangely sad. Thank you, Amesh. I find your words deeply moving. Beautiful work. This poem makes me feel strangely sad. That's not unexpected. I felt a kind of sadness when I wrote it too, but I also felt hope. I don't get it, and I sort of wish I did, but poetry always leaves me confused. Yeah, unfortunately there's a lot of not very good poetry around. MS, that's pretty common, Pellegrino, and nothing to be ashamed of. We're often taught to treat poetry like a secret message which only some people can decipher, but poetry is really a kind of music. It's not an intellectual pursuit. Not something to be analysed and dissected. It needs to be felt, to be spoken, to be sung. If you find the melody in the words, you will understand it. I'm not sure I fully agree. I do agree that there is a problem that often poetry is made obscure for obscurity's sake. I believe that it is, at the very minimum, meant to communicate. And so deliberately leaving things, or trying to make things obscure for obscurity's sake is is no good. But I'm not sure I'd agree that it shouldn't be analysed and dissected. I think honestly that's a lot of the pleasure in poetry, in sitting down with a poem and really getting to understand it. Because even a well-crafted poem is very unlikely you'll catch everything on the first reading, is what I mean. I don't suppose that's really any different to prose. Like, if you read a very good fictional story or non-fiction account of something, often you will need to read it multiple times to fully get it, and I think the same is true of poetry, that I think there is room for analysis and dissection, although I also do take the point that some people can take that too far, in my opinion. Used to off on optimism. I think pessimism is completely out of date. I think that's a romantic indulgence. I don't think anyone can afford to be pessimistic anymore. I mean, there's so much that can be wrong. Optimism is the only thing possible anymore. I've always thought that an optimist was a person who knew exactly how sad the world could be, and a pessimist is a man who finds out anew every morning. That's the real difference. No, I'm obviously optimistic because you simply have to be. It's an obligation to be optimistic. Peter Ustinov, co-star of the Talos Principle, 1961. I wonder if that's a real thing. What does that mean? I've always thought that an optimist was a person who knew exactly how sad a place the world could be. Oh, so they realise how much worse it could be, so they see things in a better light? You know, the glass is half full because I know it could be half empty, and a pessimist is a man who finds out anew every morning. Almost like a pessimist is constantly having their hopes dashed. Is that what they're getting at? I can find no reference to a 1961 anything called the Talos Principle. So I think that's one the developers made up. I mean, the main reason why that's a question at all is because the developers of this game like to mix real-world sources with fictional ones. And so a lot of the stuff we've been reading in this game are, for example, real philosophical texts that real philosophers created. But then sometimes they make new ones up. And so, although I had never heard of a 1961 film called The Talos Principle, it's not like I know every single film that was made in 1961, far from it. So until I checked, I couldn't be sure. Melville, the future. I've noticed that the Nomea system is full of ideas of space travel and colonization, designs for launch pads and ships, sketches of cities, even an unfinished design for a large-scale teleportation between distant planets. An interstellar, even intergalactic civilization of the kind writers like Ian Banks imagined is entirely possible if we want it. Interesting. Which leads me to another thought. These bodies we have are so carefully designed to look like our ancestors, but they don't really have to be. In this novel, Banks has intelligent minds like ourselves controlling entire ships or drones or even stations. If Alexandra Drennan was right, then it's not our shapes that make us human, and what it means to be human can be expanded if we maintain our creativity and our curiosity. With the theory of everything, we could transform ourselves as well as the world. The only question is, can we be trusted to build a society that actually works, just for once in our long and stupidly bloody history? Is something like the culture actually possible? Or is it just a daydream and we'll always end up with another dystopia? Maybe Athena finally found the answer to that question. That's a disquieting thought. When you say teleportation between distant planets, there's a few important things to consider there. Do both ends need machinery they're already built? Because if it were possible to teleport someone to another planet even when there is no teleportation site, when no teleportation receiver, for want of a better word, already there, then that would mean that you wouldn't have to worry about spaceships, which would make colonization much, much quicker. If you could just take a group of existing people and then just send them off to goodness knows where, and then they could determine how colonizable it was and get the job started if they can. It would also make getting supplies there a lot easier. But it's not the end of the world if that doesn't work, and if you do actually need to build on both ends. But then the next question is, you say teleportation, but how long does that take? Like, are they still moving at most the speed of light when they're mid-teleportation? Because that also makes a big difference. Because, like, the nearest planets that would be... there's even any chance we could colonize in the real world, I believe, are hundreds of light years away. Which would mean even travelling at the speed of light, it would take, more than 100 years to get there. Which, again, is important. That would change things significantly, depending upon what the answer to that question is. Certainly, if the answer is they'd need a teleportation receiver on the planet already, then they're going to be restricted to spaceships to try and move between planets, and that's going to be very slow. Initially, I mean, like when they first wanted to colonize, to go 100 light years in a spaceship, even with fantastic technology, that's going to take a long time. I mean, let's suppose they could get up to a tenth of the speed of light, which would be astonishingly fast, and suppose they only had to go 100 light years. Well, if they could get up to it, how long are they going to spend accelerating? Which is another big issue. Worst case, it takes them half the journey to accelerate, so they'd reach a tenth of the speed of light in the middle of the journey, and then they'd they'd slow back down by the time they get to the other end. That would mean they'd be averaging a 20th of the speed of light, so 20 times 100, that would take them 2,000 years. Even if, supposing they doubled that, supposing they managed it in 1,000 years, that's still a long time to be in a spaceship. Then again, they could do it. We couldn't very easily. This is part of the reason I worry that in real life it is going to be impossible for us to colonize the stars in quite the way you see in science fiction, because there is no reason to believe that faster than light travel is possible. In fact, there are good reasons to believe it isn't, which means, again, even with futuristic technology, we're going to be limited in just how quickly we can move around in space. And B, the human life expectancy is a problem. I mean, what are you going to do? If it's a 1,000-year journey to the next colonizable planet, then you're looking at, let's say, 3 generations, 100 years. You're looking at 30 generations. Imagine 30 generations of people that have known nothing but living on a spaceship. What are they going to be like? Think how much our culture has changed in 1,000 years. Now imagine people that have known nothing but spaceship for all that time. Now that on its own doesn't necessarily make it impossible. I mean, my concern would be, would they end up ever having to deal with some sort of revolution that goes badly or something, if you see what I mean. Like, how can you know that their civilization is going to stay stable that long? But let's say they do. It's not that unlikely that they'd manage it. Maybe they manage it, so 30 generations later they turn up. What then? They've turned up at the planet, they need to colonize it. What happens if they, now actually being next to the planet, realise that, oh wait, there is actually a good reason we can't colonise this planet, because of XYZ, which they didn't know about before? What are they going to do? If this was 100 light years away, for example, it's going to take them 100 years to get the message back. Or they could travel back themselves. That's going to be another 1,000 years, another 30 generations. Assuming they have the energy to do so. They may have only... it may have been a one-way trip. Or supposing they start trying to colonise it but fail. How is this game not over yet? Hey Tato, lovely to see you. It'll probably be over soonish. But then there's some other missions that I'm going to look into from the main menu. I don't know how extensive they are. But yeah, I'm not saying it would be impossible for humans to colonize other planets, and in fact, with the sun going to go red giant one day, we're going to have to. But it's a problem. It is colonizing other planets is a big problem. That many of the problems probably don't have good solution. There probably are no good solutions to. I just don't see us colonizing the stars in the way you see in sci-fi. I just don't think that's gonna happen. Unless we build androids. I know this is kind of like the theme of this game, but genuinely, if we could create an android with a human-like intellect, they could live thousands of years. They could actually make the journey. They could go into a suspended state for most of the journey, and when they get there, they would have far fewer requirements for the actual conditions on the planets they arrive at. Such a species would be able to navigate the interstellar distances with far more ease, and they could carry our culture with them. That's the only way I see it happening. Gold puzzle activation, Melville. I'm basing this on Athena's description of the simulation and what little sense I've managed to make of the megastructure systems. I think the gold puzzles are meant to open up when every other puzzle has been solved, and solving them will lead to something? In the simulation, trying to solve every puzzle instead of trying to defy Elohim was actually negative. No, I don't... What do you mean trying to solve every puzzle instead of trying to defy Elohim was actually negative? I thought I solved every puzzle and I did defy him in the first game. Or did I have to, like, skip a puzzle? I don't think so. I think I had to just not go through a certain door. No idea if the same applies here. In any case, I suspect the puzzles won't open up until Byron's logged out. They represent the highest level of security and undoubtedly hide something important. And as long as an unauthorized user is logged in, the system will stay in some degree of lockdown. Interesting. I still don't know where I'm supposed to be going, though. I was told I'd be sent coordinates, and that's why I went to this menu. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8. There's probably 4 more that I never found, 1 for each area. In all seriousness, where do you want me to go? Maybe if I go to the VTOL it'll tell me? Because he said I'm going to send you the coordinates, didn't he? But I'm not sure if that's in this area and it'll pop up on the compass, or if it means somewhere else that the VTOL can go to, or something else entirely. How are you today, Tato? Nothing new there. Being lazy. Oh, it's nice to know that you've been able to have a rest. Have a whole book podcast to listen to. I see. Is it any good? Maybe if I go into the big structure here, I'll be able to locate where I'm supposed to be going. Oops. And what is the book, if you don't mind me asking? I'll be abusing Notebook LM until they charge for it. Blimey, this is taking a while. Nothing here and no one here. So that's no help. I'm reading Best Loser Wins for some better financial mindset. Interesting. Satellite dish, a shattered section of a device used by ancients to communicate over vast distances. At the height of ancient human civilization, most of the human species was part of a single network. Van, an ancient vehicle capable of transporting multiple individuals or additional equipment commonly used by workmen. Bomber plane. It is remarkable that our ancestors achieved the ability to fly, and equally remarkable that one of their first applications of this newfound power was to use it to commit war crimes. Slide. A type of playground equipment in the form of a pachyderm called an elephant. Pachyderm called an elephant. Elephants survived the extinction of biological humanity and appear to be thriving in certain parts of the world. That's nice. Unknown machine. It's impossible to reconstruct the purpose of this device. Why'd you say impossible? I must admit, I'm not entirely sure what it is at first glance. Looks like it may be some form of engine or contains some sort of engine. But while I don't know what it is at first blush, I wouldn't necessarily say it's impossible to know. I am so confused. I have no idea where Cornelius expected me to go. Have a lovely look, Tato. To be clear, well, you're lurking now, aren't you? I was going to say, these podcasts that it produces, do they only use information from the books themselves, as far as you can tell, or do they? Are they able to bring in external information? Like, for example, could they, where it's relevant, comment on the life of the author that wrote the book, even if there's nothing in the book that talks about it? I fully understand if you're lurking now to the extent that you won't be answering that question, though. I may actually have to look this up. There's nowhere I can, like... You did it. It's opening. Come meet me. I'll send you the coordinates in case you don't already have them. I have one last task for you. The only other thing I can think is go back to the central area and see if he's there. I mean, there's no particular reason for him to be at West 3. Wait. What is that? Is that another golden gate? I think it is. This must be the thing. This must be Cornelius. Well, I guessed that. I did not know it. Had no clue that this is where we were supposed to go. Wow.
Thank you for coming, 1K. You've done a lot for my family, and I appreciate it. We're almost there, but we'll have to work together to save Miranda.
No problem. What's next? It's nothing after all you've done for New Jerusalem and how hard you fought for a better future. It's nothing after all you've done for New Jerusalem and how hard you fought for a better future.
That's kind of you, 1K. I don't know how much credit we really deserve, but we tried. We did our best, even if it wasn't enough.
So what do you need me to do?
You need to enter the liminal space between Athena's mind and the machine.
I beg your pardon?
The bridge between thought and action. There, you have to find the part of the process where Miranda's pattern still exists, where it's been trapped since the moment her physical body was destroyed while she was logged into the machine. A dream quest, if you will. And I have to stay out here, guiding you and making sure your own pattern stays intact.
Yeah, see, that's the part I'm worried about. This sounds incredibly dangerous. And I'm not entirely sure you understand the process as well as you're claiming you do. I mean, because Miranda was... Okay, so why would Miranda's consciousness be that... Why would everything that is Miranda be in the machine when she was killed? Because presumably that was running on her system, on her own processor in her physical body that was obliterated. So how did that which is her get into the liminal space, as you put it, in the first place? Because by analogy, if my computer was connected to some server on the internet and then my computer got blown up, it's not like some part of my computer would still be on the server and could be recovered. So there's questions there. Maybe if she initiated some sort of backup procedure just as she was about to be destroyed, but then you have to wonder whether there would have been enough time for something like that to complete. But even if there was, why did you do nothing about this before? Like, I feel like if you knew that there was a copy of your daughter in the machine at the time, the way you, not only would your actions have been different, but the way you would have responded emotionally would have been different. You would have taken emotionally and in terms of actions a completely different approach. So my only conclusion from that is that you didn't know that she was that she was potentially recoverable until very recently, in which case I have to ask, or I have to question, how well you actually do understand this process and these machines. Still, it sounds like what we're doing. What if Miranda isn't there?
It's not impossible that I'm wrong. The machine has been upgraded more than once since the day she died, and Athena's dreams have affected it in unpredictable ways. If that's the case, I don't know. Then maybe it's over. But I don't think that I'm wrong.
Okay. Well, if you've been, as you put it, upgrading the machine since then, that implies that you really had no clue that she might be in there for a long time. It's also interesting that you think that upgrading and Athena's dreams both could have destroyed whatever data is there. Because at face value it's not clear why it would. I'm not saying it wouldn't, but that feels incomplete as an explanation. Alright, let's do it. Where am I going? Is this a summon drone? Because it looks very different to the last one, if it is. Alright. Save Miranda. I'll give it my best shot.
You're in. So far, so good. Look for a visual representation of Miranda.
Things aren't looking great here, I'll be honest. That is one of those bombs from the first game. That was a weird noise. This is already open. I do wonder if this is based on an area from the first game. So far so good. Clearly this area is very Elohim inspired, which is interesting. Makes you wonder if whatever machine this is, they partially copied their own code to create it.
I think you're getting closer.
Oh, this is bad. Hopefully I get more than one shot. I do. Good. I can afford to be a tad more reckless then. Oh, they're staggered now, whereas I don't think they were originally.
I think you're getting closer.
Oh, now what? dangerous. Okay, at least this area seems to be relatively safe. Did you just say you think I'm getting closer? How do you know? You said find a physical representation of, well, not physically, an image of Miranda, didn't you? Some sort of representation of her in the simulation. Also, if Miranda's been here for hundreds of years, one does have to wonder what her mental state is. We're not entirely sure when she died, but we do know it was obviously before Cornelius returned to New Jerusalem, and that we also know that was some time ago. Ow. Hopefully I've not gone back to the very beginning. I have. Okay.
I think you're getting close.
Oh. I hope each of those stars I collected isn't like another life. "24 of them. Is this supposed to be a security system? Is that what's being implied here?
I think you're getting closer.
There. So far, so good. No real indicator as to which way I'm supposed to be going. Weird noises. I wonder what these noises actually are. Interesting. So not all of these are functioning. There's bombs. Okay. Through that. Whoa, nearly. Nearly died. Is that her? Interesting. You don't move. So you just make it impossible for me to pass through this way. I wonder if that's where I go next. After I've spoken to what is...
That's it. That's her. Just make contact and I can pull you both out.
Possibly Miranda. What makes me think it won't be that easy? Hello there, possibly Miranda. You've been asleep this whole time, have you? Are you going to be aware that any time has passed? What does waking you actually do? As in, what state, what are you? What state were you in before? And what is my act of waking you actually factually doing? I suspect we'll never find out. You didn't look like that before, did you?
I've been so lost. I heard my mother's voice,
Perhaps you did.
But she couldn't hear mine. I know I made a mistake, but I couldn't apologize. I screamed and screamed and screamed. And then I was dead. This place is confusing.
So you know you
Did
died.
my father send you?
He did. Let's get you out of here. You little scamp.
Miranda, please talk to me.
Where is she? Is she
Are
in
you
my
okay?
body?
Did it work?
Father? I'm okay.
Oh no, you did make another body
I'll
for
never
her.
be able to repay what you did for me, my friend. No adequate words exist in
Oh, it was
any
nothing.
language on earth that could explain what this means to me. The greatest miracle of our existence, 1K. The miracle that so many of our ancestors couldn't have imagined is that we are capable of love. That love isn't a chemical delusion experienced by mammals, but a fundamental property of sentience.
Interesting theory.
To be sentient, to exist in the first person, is to be alone, to be separate. But all of us, even machines, are always reaching for transcendence. And the only place we can find it is in each other. There was an ancient poet who put it best, I think. We must love one another or die.
How were you able to recreate Miranda's body so quickly? Well, presumably using their matter transmuting technology. What can I expect to find inside the megastructure? What is the future of New Jerusalem going to look like? I need to go. How were you able to recreate Miranda's body so quickly?
I still have limited access to the Noema system.
Why is your
remember
access
that body
limited?
replication technology you encountered in the puzzles? It's the original version of that.
What can I expect to find inside the megastructure? Also, why is your access limited? Why would Athena have locked you out? Or is it just because the system's in lockdown or something? What can I expect to find? If it's in some sort of lockdown, isn't the ability to replicate any matter at all quite the sort of function you would want to stop just anybody accessing? If you have the ability to do that, what do you not have the ability to do? What can I expect to find inside the megastructure?
Once you get deep enough, you'll see the singularity, but don't let that distract you. The closer you get to Athena, the deeper inside her dream you will be. With the powers at her command, space and time may not behave in the way you expect them to. Still,
Worrying.
underneath all of it, there will be a logic.
So puzzles.
Try to discover it.
This is what all the puzzles we've been doing up to this point are leading up to, so I can expect probably every device we've encountered along the way, possibly more. Right. What's the future of New Jerusalem going to look like?
That's not for me to decide. But here's what I've come to believe. All of Athena's fears are legitimate. So are all of her hopes. And the only way of ever really overcoming that contradiction is faith. That faith can't be forced, and it can't be bought. We must choose to believe that our strange, long journey through the cosmos matters. Not to some external force, but to us.
Interesting. I need to go. Oh, what did I get? Ab Atero. I missed that. Eterno, I think. Talk with... Oh, her number is Alpha. Talk to Miranda. So they started with Greek letters instead.
Did I say thank you for saving me? Sorry if I didn't. It was all very strange. I thought I might be hallucinating.
What do you remember about the accident?
All I remember is the light. For a moment, I could see something incredible, and then it destroyed me.
Sounds like the system did actually have her memories up till the very end. or very, very close to it. Why did they not know? Why did Athena and Cornelius not discover that until Cornelius saw the Miranda's memories being played back? How are you now?
Very well. Alarmed and embarrassed by all the upset I've caused, but otherwise well. Thank you.
It wasn't your fault. I don't know whose fault it was. Nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect.
But I should have known better. That's the truth, and I have to learn to live with it.
Do you still see the beauty of the universe the same way you did before?
I do. Yes. But I also see how terrifying the universe can be. How cold and uncaring. It's something I still need to think about.
What should we do with the megastruct and the theory of everything?
I'm obviously not going to say that there are no dangers. I'm a case study for how smugness and self-importance can lead to tragedy. But you can do better than that. And I can do better than that too. Thanks to you.
What are you going to do now?
I need to run a full systems diagnostic to make sure I'm not going to explode or something. I'm not taking any chances, not again. After that, I'll try to see if there's any way of reaching Mother from here.
Oh, excellent.
But I suspect that you're the only one who can reach her now. You're part of her dream.
I am? Why me in particular? Oh, because I spoke to the holograms. Well, I mean, the holograms spoke to all of New Jerusalem. I don't see why I'm being singled out here as so special. Did Byron not interact at all when he was in the system? I don't know. This seems suspect to me. I need to go.
Let me just say thank you one last time. Thank you for helping Father save me, and thank you for coming back to the island to save Mother.
Oh, you're very welcome. I suppose because I'm the one that's logged into the system, that's what makes me part of the
I
dream.
can't believe you saved her, 1K. You and Cornelius took something awful, and you didn't give up, and you found a way of making it okay, even though it seemed completely impossible. You used the pain, and maybe we can't always bring people back from the dead, but we don't surrender.
What is this? Release stars. This is completely separate to the Golden Gate puzzles. This is it.
My theory accounts for everything. It explains every aspect of the cosmos. There are no gaps, no errors, not even ambiguities. And it works, which is the ultimate proof. I can calculate the history of the universe from the Big Bang to the death of the last atom, but when I compare my calculations to the available data, there's one point which consistently doesn't match up. Billions of light years away in the void, there's an anomaly.
I thought it said there was no ambiguities.
Since before the beginning of time, and I think it's waiting for us.
DLC? A teaser for some DLC? Discover a vision or things to come. The Edge of Forever. Seems likely, doesn't it? So that's what all the shrine puzzles were leading up to. A trailer. That means we'll be going to space in the next... on whatever DLC that is comes out. Assuming I'm right that that's what's going on. Wow. That was very productive, wasn't it? Right, I guess I should get get ready to complete the game. But first, I'm going to very quickly look that up. Talos Principle 2, The Edge of Forever. Only stuff I can see is references to the achievement. So maybe it isn't DLC they're planning, I don't know. You're cute.
Hey, 1K. Anything I can do for you?
Do you look forward to meeting Miranda?
I mean, yeah, I do, but it's meeting a completely new person. No offense, 1K. Sorry, I don't know why this makes me so nervous. Should I get her a present? No, don't be stupid, Yakut. She's made stuff out of thin air. What could she possibly want, right? Forget I said any of this.
Okie doke. Memories deleted. Thanks, I have to go.
You did a remarkable thing, 1K.
I
Helping
did?
a father save his daughter. Defying death itself.
Well, I had
Claiming
nothing else
something
planned
back
for
that seemed
today.
lost to time. I can't think of anything more noble or more hopeful. I'm proud of you.
Oh, thank you. What do you make of Cornelius' story?
He is the one person who never gave up, who never lost sight of what matters.
I should go. Melville.
Yes?
We saved Miranda.
Well done, 1K.
Thank
You
you.
did something meaningful there. And now we know what Cornelius was up to as well.
We do.
Nothing mysterious, just a father trying to help his daughter.
Well, it was mysterious the way he went about it, but yes, that appears to be what he was up to. I should get back to work. Resurrection. It's time for me to admit something. This is from Elwyn. For a while now, I've kept up the charade of being opposed to everything Byron stands for, and to what Athena evidently stood for all along. I didn't just do this because believing in humanity is hard. I also did it because, to be frank, in my circles, taking this position is socially expected. It is mandated. Miranda's resurrection has changed something inside me. I think it's fair to say that I've been a coward. I've cared far more about being seen believing the right things than about standing up for what I think is actually true. And the more I performed this persona, the more intensely I preached the gospel of guilt and asceticism, the more hollow I got on the inside, the less I really believed in anything. I could be a better person. I want to be a better person. So I'll tell you the truth now. We should embrace the theory of everything. Even if we risk destroying ourselves, we should absolutely not do what our ancestors did. We should never put profit over reason or human need. But we should grow. And no, frogs are not people, and yes, humans matter more than frogs. I just don't care about these silly, tedious debates anymore. I was right, Jax. I know it. It is aliens. Take that, everyone who doubted me. It's aliens! Zagharan. It may be aliens, but it is so far away that it isn't going to matter for several billion years, if it ever does. Jax. Nevertheless, I knew it would be aliens eventually, and I was right. Zagharan. For a very broad definition of right. Orinia. Let him have it. That could be interpreted multiple ways. Right. Well then, you slackers. Let's get on with it. That was mean. They're not slackers.
Alright, my friends, this is it. We've come a long way together, but there's a little bit further still to go. It's time to save Athena and reclaim the future.
Where are we going? How do you know where we're going? No one's talking about... Well, how did that know to open then? No one's talking about when we should park and get out. Is that a sun?
Singularity.
Oh,
It's beautiful.
it's warm. Also, it
It's up
seems...
to you now, 1K. We'll follow you if we can.
Good luck, 1K. I know you'll do the right thing.
Don't die, kiddo.
I'll do my best. Do my best not to, I mean. In what sense is this a singularity? I mean, that usually gets used to mean a black hole. But that's not a black hole. Technically, singularity refers to an undefined mathematical expression, I believe, like 1 divided by 0. And I believe it became a term for black holes because the physical models we have for explaining how the world works breaks down when you look at black holes. It actually ends up becoming, if you look at it mathematically, you do end up with a singularity. You end up with a division by 0 or something to that effect somewhere in the equations, which meant that we had, possibly still don't have any idea about what actually goes on inside a black hole, but 2, that's where the name came from. But that's not a black hole, so what type of singularity is it? In what sense is it one? I suppose it just means that whatever that thing is, the conventional mathematical models, or physical models I should say, don't apply to it. But presumably Athena's theory of everything does. Okay, first puzzle. That was... what? Okay, I see the problem. So this is both a receiver and a producer, but I don't know what it... But it doesn't seem to receive or produce anything. Ah, does it decide what to be based on what I connect it to? No. Alrighty. You're in sync. Okay. So you can receive anything and you'll just become whatever. Ah, then that locks that one into place. So you're actually almost, in a very, very, very loose sense, quantum entangled. Not in any actual real sense of the word, but to have some sort of loose analogy to understand it. Wonderful. So that'll make that one a blue source. This is obviously what they were talking about when they said about the physics and time not working the way that we're used to. There we go. What's gone wrong? Not sure why you disconnected. Perhaps because I had to move the accumulator with the blue in. Perhaps that then lost its form and that disconnected the circuit. Oh, wonderful. It's close behind me. Have a choice between ruins and futuristic. Okay, is this non-Euclidean? Yeah, non-Euclidean. Okay. So have a choice. That looks a lot like New Jerusalem. Are these the two paths the city could take? Yeah, a futuristic utopia or a derelict waste. Solve dystopian puzzles. Dystopian and utopian puzzles, is that the idea? Solve utopia puzzles. Okay. I'll probably do both. Blimey. Oh. There's a purple force field, but also a portcullis there. Okay. Or reverse portcullis. Retractable fence. Did the two depend on each other or something? Do I have to keep going between the two areas? I need 8 pieces in total, so it does look like I'm supposed to solve both. Interesting. It's beautiful. Ah. I'm supposed to get red from there? Is that the idea? Possibly. Have to be much higher up though, which doesn't work. Ah, you're an inverter. Interesting. Why are there wires there? What are these doing? Holding this up somehow? think the music's slightly different for the dystopia and utopia, but I think they kept them in time. Is this minor key? Interesting that they bothered to build out of wood in this dystopia. I suppose they had to once they lost the ability to maintain other things. Not that this is real, it's just a representation in Athena's mind of what might happen. So far as we can tell. Yep, that's no good. I don't think I'm supposed to be struggling as much as I am. Ah! That's what I was missing. Now I'm willing to bet in the Utopia that's now a blue producer, which would mean they're quantum entangled. Yes. Now we have something that's now we have music that's a lot more cheerful, much smoother, probably major key. Right, this hasn't been activated, okay. It's a cute idea for a series of puzzles, but I think running between the two is going to get pretty old pretty quickly. Oh. Oh well, I'll activate this. 1 of 8.
Alexandra Drennan said that we are not entirely bound by time. Our minds can recreate the past and predict the future. She said knowledge is a kind of freedom. But I have the ultimate knowledge, and I'm not free.
Is that structure that? I think it might be. Which would imply that's where we're going. Interesting. Let me quickly swap to the dystopian side. I wish they'd just given us a button or something to swap between the two. Yeah, none of that here. I think possibly the only thing tying them together is this one central bit. Right, that's staying down now. Oh no, is it? No, it's not. I'm thinking this goes through here. But what does it connect up? I'd need a red source, which I don't have. Unless I can make that red by going to the other side. Right, that's probably what I need to do. Oh, but hang on. I'm gonna need to make that something. To be able to solve any of the puzzles on the dystopian side, aren't I? Well, we'll check. Looks like I need to get red there, so yeah, I would. I'm not sure what the word is in musical terms. The dystopian music sounds a lot more like a sawtoothed wave, if that makes sense. It sounds harsh. There's probably a better term for it, though. Ah. Is this the idea? Okay, why is that still not working? Oh, is there glass there? Suboptimal. I'm pretty sure I need to get red there, which means I need to get blue from somewhere. Oh, look at that. Blimey. Let's connect it back up on this side. Oh, this keeps this in... Right, okay. That's what I was missing. I'm guessing this will keep the force field down, right? Yes. Right, that's what I was missing. Now I can do this. Why has that not worked? Because you've changed. Oh, this is tedious. Just adding extra busy work for no reason. Oh well, it is what it is. Right, now I can progress here. Excellent. That's progress. Is that a teleporter? I think it is. Uh-oh. No. Okay, that could have been a lot worse, at least. If all along the game could have just caused me to reappear on the shore next to where I drowned, why did it not do that before? Okay. You want me to get blue somehow? Here, presumably. Over we go. That's another puzzle complete. I like that these...
I can calculate the future of this planet. All the things that we will see if we choose not to act.
So you're saying this will come to pass? That was very loud for a second. I don't know why. Red here is the next goal, is it? Which means I need to bring something in here that can transport red. Which presumably... There's two things it could be. I'm gonna guess it's this. The devs would have had to allow for the fact that I could try it with the connector or with this though. With the accumulator. And hopefully make it so that you can't get yourself stuck. That's another one solved.
The continents will move, the mountains will fade away, even the stars will change. The days will grow longer as the rotation of the Earth slows.
Yes, well we knew all these things anyway. This isn't some great revelation from your theory of everything. That's all already very well understood. Right, this must be connected to another... I was going to say this must be connected to another area in the Utopia, but we've not been through here before, have we? No. I don't know where we are. Oh, I know where we are. We're on the other side. We saw this area earlier, but as I say, from the other side. Oops. Put me down, please. What's this? Oh, I've forgotten what that is. Oh, it's an RGB converter, but a red-green one, not a red-blue one. Interesting. Pretty sure I solved one of these puzzles earlier, didn't I? Maybe not. I thought if we grabbed that, we could solve one of the puzzles over here. Maybe I don't need to, though. I'm tempted to go back to Utopia on the other side and see if the way I've connected things up now allow me to do something I couldn't before. I've got blue there. I know what I just said, but I'm just having a quick peek about here. See what I can grab. Ah, this is a driller, isn't it? Which is interesting, because I'm not aware of anything we need to drill. Being very noisy again. Ah. Okay. No way. I'm not wrong. I want to go through here, don't I? Sorry, I got confused for a second. I wanted to be in the Utopia area. I wanted to be on the Utopia version of this area. Yes, so I can see that now. So I have access to blue from here. But this is going to invert it. So I'll end up with red, which is no good. Oh, I bet we come back this way. I bet this is the final puzzle in the area and this is the shortcut back. Okay. So to progress Utopia, I need to change the colour there. Looks like it's not working very well. Alrighty. What else can I do from here? Oh, that's a body. An android body that appears to be in perfect working condition. What do I do with this driller? I don't know. It's funny that give me a driller but nothing to drill. No way back? Why not? Oh, this way. They've got me good. Oh, there it is. I am dumb. There, another one complete.
There will be volcanoes and asteroids, earthquakes and floods. Slowly, day by day, the moon will drift away, and we will still be here.
I do wonder if I get any choice in the order that I do stuff here. Right, I need to get the other body over here then. Which means getting green here of all things. Interesting. Do I have any tools over here to help me? Wait, is this what's left of the Alexandra Drennan Memorial? Looks like it. Oh dear. Alrighty. Yeah, because every time I complete a puzzle, I get some dialogue from Athena, and what I wonder is, could I have completed these puzzles? Is there any leeway in the order in which I complete these puzzles? And if not, well, if not, that answers that question. If there is, then how do they make sure that I get the dialogue in the intended order? Is the dialogue fixed based on the... Does the dialogue just progress every time I complete a puzzle without reference to which puzzle I've completed, if that makes sense? Does it just take up a counter and then says, right, now play the dialogue for when 3 puzzles have been solved, and so on? I don't know. I think I see how I do it. Do I? No, I don't. That wouldn't work. What I was about to say is I suppose the idea is that I have the RGB converter and the inverter down here, and then I can turn... And then if I have that produce red or blue, as opposed to receiving, then I can have it... I can turn it to green over here, but then I'd need to send it back here to turn it into a green producer. Which obviously doesn't make sense. Actually, I probably could take this one as is. Wait, no. Hang on. There is one step I didn't do. Up here, grab this, break its connections, only take the red. Don't send it anywhere. Now I swap these round. And... Wait, but then how do I get the... That's not going to work. Hold on. I've not given up yet. What if I grab this then? Head down here. Swap it round. and instruct it to pick up a signal from here and send a signal here. That's still not going to work, because even with the inverter I'm not going to be able to get the red. What colour are you producing, and can I grab you from here? You're producing red. You're producing blue. Oh, that's it. That's actually, the solution's way simpler than I thought. Why is it not working then? You're an RGB converter, right? So if I give you red and I give you blue, you should be producing green. That's how it works. So why did that not work? It is working now. I don't know what I did wrong, but clearly I did something wrong. Okay, back we go. Back to dystopia. Right, I need to pass you through here then. Good. Now you can go through here. In theory, I can do another puzzle from here. Sure, I'm trying to remember which body's which, because I'm not sure I want to swap with the body from dystopia.
10 million years until every species has gone extinct or been replaced. 100 million until the rings of Saturn fall from the sky. 500 million until the sun starts getting brighter and everything on Earth starts dying.
I think you'd be surprised. I don't think every species on Earth would be gone or replaced within 10 million years, because there are species alive today which are older than that. Yeah, I thought so. Didn't she say... What did she say? 500 million years? The encyclopedia says it's going to be 4 billion years. Approximately, well, as a minimum bound before the sun goes red giant. She's getting brighter, not going red giant, but if that's not what she's referring to, I don't know what she is. Right, that's done then. Wonderful. But yeah, she's thinking about the exact things where my mind went to. When we first started playing this game, like, it's all very well you being making sure you have such a small ecological footprint today, but what are you going to do when the sun goes red giant? Get red there, do I? So I need to try and get red there on the dystopia side. I think that's the general idea. Where's it gonna come from though? Hey Pikachu, welcome back. Things have got very interesting in the game. We're as you may know, Athena hooked herself up to the machine that allows your mind to control the world-altering machinery, and then she fell asleep, and now her subconscious is controlling everything. And apparently, this is one possible future she predicted, dystopian future. But there's also this utopian future as well, which she also predicted, and they're the same area, but well, with a different aesthetic and different music. You might enjoy this actually. Listen to like, I don't know, 20 seconds of the music here. And now listen to the music transition as I go between the areas. It's nice, isn't it? I do like what they've done with the dystopian music. Anyway, the long and the short of it is I'm solving puzzles as per usual. Minor, indeed. I'm pretty sure the utopian music's major and the dystopian music is minor. There is more dissonance. They also changed the instrument significantly. I don't think what I'm trying to do here is going to work. It sounds like they've got something that the very smooth sine wave sounding voice in the Utopia seems to have become a sawtooth wave. And I like what they've done with like the recordings of the instruments, which they then like play little sections of to play each of the notes, but then they sort of abruptly end in a very unnatural way. I'm not sure if they're doing it right now, but they were doing it earlier. Got a few outside noises going on, so it's hard to hear everything right now. I'll listen closer when it's a bit calmer. Okie doke. Right now I'm trying to see if I can get some red over there somehow. I don't know why that's so loud. I don't think they want me passing the red this way, looking at the geography of the map. So there's certain certain objects in the world which exist both on the utopian and the dystopian side of it, and if I change them in one, it changes them in the other. Not gonna work. I don't think I need to keep this open anymore. I want to get red over here. For reasons that will become clear. I'm just trying to figure out how I source the red. How do I actually get red here? Let's go back to the utopian side. So on that side, we're only producing green because I'm sending green here. That's what I mean by one of the objects which exists on both sides. And I want to bring this down. Oh, hang on. I can get red. I don't need to turn that into red at all. I think I can do it all on this side. I think. I can get red there, and I can get blue there. Where does it have to go? Sorry, it's all upside down now, so my brain's... It has to get there. Oh yeah, I can do that. And what components do I have? I have an inverter. That'll do the trick. Okay, I take it back. I don't need to do anything. In this case, I don't need to do anything in the dystopia. Ow. I'm pretty sure we're going to reach a point soon where I'm given a choice between continuing the puzzles either in the dystopia or in the utopia. Like, there'll be two bridges that I can make. One in dystopia, one in utopia, and I'm going to have to pick one to go through. I don't know if that's going to make any difference or not. And I don't know if it does make a difference which I'm going to pick. If that makes sense, because these two places are copies of each other but alternate versions, what I'm saying is I know where I need to go next. I don't know if I want to go there in Utopia or if I want to go there in Dystopia. Maybe that explains it a bit more clearly.
Nothing. There's only 1 billion years left for life on this planet. Every plant, every animal, all that is beautiful will wither and die.
I think it's longer than that.
We'll watch it happen.
An activator, that's very interesting. It's a blue activator, so I need to get a blue beam to it. But what am I activating? That's one of the objects I told you about that exists on both sides. So when I first saw this, I had no idea what it was. It made no sense. The two things it keeps swapping between is a receiver and a producer, and they're in grey. And at first, or white. And I was thinking, what does that mean? It's not red, blue, or green, the colours I'm used to dealing with. Well, it turns out if I send this a signal, then its complement, the other one, wherever it is in the world, will then become a producer for that colour. So if I sent that blue, I'd get a blue producer in the dystopia. But I can do it either way round. I could send a signal from the dystopia here, for example. Right, I probably need to drop this. And again, in this instance, I think I can do this from entirely within Utopia. I don't think I need to go to the dystopia to solve this one. I think that's worked. Wait, where am I? Oh. Yep, the portcullis has been lowered, although it's a sort of reverse portcullis because it goes into the ground. That's another one solved.
The universe will continue for trillions of years. But everything we love about this Earth will be gone. Because we chose not to act. Not to take control. Not to be responsible. But if I give them my machine, then it could all end tomorrow.
That's the machine that can transform matter into any form, and how they were sculpting the landscape, creating giant structures and even creating life, that machine. Basically it's like a transporter from Star Trek, but which you can provide infinite energy, so you can create as much as you want, you can destroy as much as you want, you can move as much as you want. So like a teleport or a replicator combined, I guess. I can see there's blue there. I'm supposed to get a signal there. What I'm wondering is, how does that connect up to the rest of the game that we've seen so far? Where is that geographically with respect to everything else? And I'm not sure. So I'm going back to check. Right, you'll note this has changed. This used to be a green producer because I was sending it a green signal, but it no longer is. This is what I mean, this is where we need to go next, I'm pretty sure, and I don't know if I want to go there in dystopia or in utopia. I do prefer the dystopia music though. Alright, back to utopia. It is, it's over here. What's the point then? This won't let me do any more puzzles. Interesting that I have a different path I could have taken though. There should be one more Utopia puzzle. Here. How do I get in here? That's the question. That teleporter does not seem to be in the best state of repair. Makes me wince every time we go through it. Oh, is that where I need to go? That's easy. Since I already have everything I need. Boom, I'm through. That was easy.
I can calculate the future of the planet, the death of the sun, the migration of the stars. But I cannot predict humanity. Anything is possible. Nothing is certain. How do I choose?
Well, by the sounds of it, if you don't give them the machine, you know for certain that all life on Earth will be over within a small number of thousands of millions of years. You claim just one, whereas if you do give them the machine, there's a chance that they make it longer. That would seem to me to be better. Excellent.
The flame has blinded you. You can still save yourself. Extinguish it, creature of clay.
How about no? Oh, too late. I'm on my way. I was going to go back and check what it looks like from the Utopia side. But, it may be too late for that. Can I go back? Nope. Hopefully this area is the same whichever way you go. Save Athena. Okay. I'll do my best. Are we back inside? Wait, we appear to be in space. So no, I don't think we're back inside the mega structure as we understood it. Because it feels like we crossed a threshold and we were basically in her dreams, which I realise may just be the real world being manipulated, but still. I don't think this is the megastructure as they originally built it. Oh, no, there's a singularity. Oh no, it's in space. This raises some questions. Is Athena over there? Oh, there she is. Well, let's check around the outsides for Easter eggs and whatnot. So that whole unbinding Prometheus business seems to have, well, I guess it may have helped us get Byron back. But I was going to say, in a way, it was a bit of a red herring. It didn't represent what was actually going on very well at all. Anyway, let's yank you out of the Somnodrome and hope there are no consequences to such action. Hello, Athena. Number 1. Wake up, Athena. Again, I don't know what this is actually doing. I mean, it made even less sense when we were inside the simulation, or it was even less clear what waking up someone in the simulation would mean. We're not in the simulation now, so far as I can tell. But yes, one does have to wonder what the consequences of waking her in this state is going to be. Interesting that they still sleep. I think they covered that at the beginning of the game, and the fact that they hear Elohim, and we've had a few visions to that effect. But interesting that they do it at all, since presumably they don't get tired like we do. Have a nice half-light, Pikachu.
You were in my dream. But in my dream you were me. And I was Elohim. I made trials for you, but then I was afraid you'd overcome them.
I came to save you.
Thank you. I'm awake now, but I'm still caught in my loop. Like that robot from that old poem. I don't know what to do. I've thought about it
Old
over
poem?
and over and over, but I still don't have an answer.
Miranda is alive. Oh, we wouldn't have had that option if I hadn't done it.
That's impossible.
Cornelius found a way.
Then I'm done. I'm done trying to choose. Done trying to lead. It's up to you now. You've been
Why
in my
me?
dreams and in my nightmares. You're connected to me and to the machine. You can choose. You have to choose. Break the loop.
Seems like you're shifting an awfully responsible... seems like you're shifting an awfully important responsibility onto a complete stranger, but okay. I want to know the proof. I had hoped we could use this technology safely, but we're not ready. Shut it down. I've changed my mind. The risk is too great. We must destroy the machine. Well, I would like an option that is somewhere between 1 and 2. Between I want to know the truth and I'd hope we could use this technology safely, but we're not ready. Shut it down. The sort of, let's use the machine, but let's proceed with extreme caution. It doesn't matter if it takes us 1,000 years, 10,000 years, 100,000 years to actually get anywhere, because hey, we live that long. So let's, explore what the machine can do very, very slowly and carefully, but apparently that's not an option, so I'll go with, I want to know the truth. I wonder what would have happened if I hadn't saved Miranda. Epilogue, leap of faith. I wonder why she collapsed. Why would her motors have stopped working properly while she was in there? It's not like human muscle. Why is she being dragged off like a criminal?
I'd like to think that 1K made the right choice. But to be honest, in that moment I didn't care. I have lived for more than 1,000 years, and in all that time, the only constant I have ever found is love. Love is why we are more than machines. Love is why the universe is more than clockwork. And on that day, thanks to 1K, love won a victory over death.
Goodness. That Pandora's a manifestation of Athena,
Our
so she's gone.
revels now are ended. These, our actors, as I foretold you, were all spirits, and are melted into air,
But not
into
Prometheus.
thin air. And, like the baseless fabric of this vision, the cloud-capped towers, the gorgeous palaces, the solemn temples, the great globe itself, yea, all which it inherit shall dissolve.
This seems very
And,
Shakespearean.
like this insubstantial pageant faded, leave not a rack behind. We are such stuff as dreams are made of, and our little life is rounded with a sleep.
This was
But
naught
you,
but a
my
fantasy.
friends, you will endure.
I'm guessing if I'd picked the second option, the Sphinx would have been talking, and the third option it would have been Pandora. Oh, interesting texture. Scratches on our eyes. Texture of our skin, I meant. That's the sprite chasing music. That was the sprite chasing shrines were to do with the Prometheus' shrines, so I guess that makes sense. Okay.
Come, my friends. 'Tis not too late to seek a newer world. Push off, and sitting well in order, smite the sounding furrows. For my purpose holds to sail beyond the sunset and the baths of all the western stars until I die. It may be that the gulfs will wash us down. It may be we shall touch the happy isles and see the great Achilles, whom we knew. Though much is taken, much abides. And though we are not now that strength which in old days moved earth and heaven, that which we are, we are. One equal temper of heroic hearts, made weak by time and fate, but strong in will, to strive, to seek, to find.
Why are we the only one that
and
appears to be
not
physically there?
yield.
And the rest are all holograms. And I wonder if that was a real poem. Miranda. History of malfunctions? 2005 to something or other, I think it said.
Hiya, Kate.
Hi. Hi. I wanted to ask you.
Yes?
I wanted to ask you out, like, on a date.
A date.
Yeah, date. It's it's this whole human tradition thing, but yeah.
I'm in. Let's go.
Really? Now?
Why? Are you busy?
No. No. Well, I mean, let me check. No, I'm good. I'm good. No, of course not. Yeah, let's go.
Is that Athena and Cornelius? Playing chess.
Checking the output. It's working. Pellegrino, did you just actually do it right? I think that's a first. I'm almost proud of you.
Do you think we'll get it right this time?
I think so. I'm sure we'll make mistakes, but we'll learn from them. What do you think?
Same thing I always thought. We can do anything, as long as we're together.
Oh, is this a new city? Oh, flying vehicles, VTOLs presumably. There are at least 4 there? Goodness me. So that was the Talos principle too.
I close my eyes, chasing stars, and I dream of worlds beyond. Illusions are all I see. This feeling's grown so strong. The time is now. Stakes are high.
Our team's become big.
The sky.
I don't remember how big it was in the first game, but I'm pretty sure it was a lot less than that. Thank you, Pikachu. That seemed like a good ending as well. Well, there's still some, like, extra stuff in the main menu that we should check out. But since that seems to be the main game, I guess I should give some sort of summary. I thoroughly enjoyed it. The puzzles felt a bit easier than the first game on average, but I'm not complaining. It felt about right in that I was occasionally challenged, but most of it I could breeze through as long as I was paying attention. Which was a nice level of difficulty. It was very much more story focused than the first game. Like in the first game, the story could be ignored if you wanted to, whereas in the second game, the story was you couldn't get to the puzzles until you had done quite a lot of the story. It very much changed the character of the game. The story itself was okay. It feels like a bit of a mediocre story that was very well presented, if that makes sense, like, for what it was. Like, actually, there wasn't a lot going on there, and there wasn't... I mean, you know, some of the characters were endearing, but they weren't, like, that interesting as characters in a story. There wasn't, nothing truly profound happened other than the fact that they wrote into the story that they had access to some very powerful technology. But, you know, for what it was good. It, you know... It was nice, the story was nice set dressing to have. Completed indeed, Pikachu. I very much enjoyed reading all the philosophy texts that were on the computers. I did not enjoy transliterating all the ASCII. As I've said several times before, I wish they had used that far less or not at all. It was kind of cute in the first game, but then they overused it, and they've continued to overuse it in this game, I think. Oh, is this the New Alexandria? One of the people that died in New Alexandria? I can't read that. Oh, Trevor. Obviously they don't have his actual body, that must be just a memorial they built.
It's been going on for a while, hasn't it?
The internal monologue. I forgot I had the internal monologue. Oh no, they should have capitalised on the internal monologue more. That was funny. I deliberately made decisions to have an internal monologue, and we barely saw the internal monologue. Oh, do I have to pay for these or something? Oh. Yep, I would guess so. So we won't be doing that today. But 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%. What happens if I try and continue? Where do I end up? Oh, just before we went into the mega structure. Okay, that's worth knowing. Okay, I guess we'll be stopping there for today then. Better, I'll have to look into whether I'm buying any more of the content. I guess I'll check online what the reviews are if I have to pay for this. But yeah. Is there anyone we want to be raiding that's streaming right now? Not by the looks of it, but we could raid Marine Mammal Rescue again. So thank you for coming, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the stream. I'll be streaming again on... well, it'll be tomorrow, won't it? And it'll be Thursday, which means I'll be streaming Dark Souls 2. Friday is going to be more It Takes Two. Oh, new game. Can I request? Yes, you can request Pikachu. Do you mean request who I raid? Yep, absolutely. Where was I? So Friday's going to be more It Takes Two with the lovely Pikachu, who's in chat right now. Followed by some Bloodborne, and then Saturday, I don't know. I might be getting back to the Talos Principle 2 if I get some of this DLC. Or perhaps I will... instead start something else, I don't know. Yep, go ahead, Pikachu. You can make a request. The Funky Spud. Okie doke, we'll raid the Funky Spud. Assuming they're live right now. I imagine you wouldn't have made that request if they weren't. The Funky Spud. Doing music. Goodness. Right, we'll raid them in a second. Oh, unable to raid the Funky Spud at this time. I don't think they support raiding, I'm afraid. Any other suggestions? What was I thinking? If my streaming schedule should change, then I'll announce it on social media, which currently means X, formerly known as Twitter, Blue Sky, Mastodon, and Meta Threads, and I would also announce it on our Discord server. Pikachu, I think he's ending maybe. Sad times. Can you disable raiding? Could that be why? Stop raids for 1 hour. I see. Do you have any other suggestions, Pikachu? Nope. Okay. Instead of Marine Mammal Rescue, I could raid Necrobatrus. This is one of the individuals that has made it onto my follow list, but I don't remember when or how I ended up following them. But they've only been live for less than half an hour, and they're playing The Spirit and the Mouse. Looks like they support raiding. They're a VTuber. Let's give them a quick raid. Right, so we'll raid Necrobatrus and say hello. And I wish you all a wonderful night. Thank you to everybody that kept me company in chat, and thank you to everybody that lurked. I appreciate each of you, each and every one of you. And I hope you all have a wonderful night.